In the shining city of Silverbrook lived a wealthy businessman named Adrian Cole. He owned tall buildings of glass and steel, wore tailored suits, and could buy nearly anything he desired. Yet for all his riches, Adrian felt something was missing: love. He had dated many women, but once they learned about his fortune, their eyes sparkled, not with affection, but with calculation. Expensive gifts, lavish trips, luxury cars, it all felt hollow. One evening, standing in his penthouse overlooking the city lights, Adrian made a bold decision. "If someone loves me," he said softly, "I want it to be for who I am, not what I own." A new beginning. The next week, Adrian stepped into a new life. He traded his designer suits for simple jeans and plain shirts. He rented a small apartment in a quiet town 2 hours away and introduced himself as Adrian Clark, a freelance writer looking for inspiration. No driver, no penthouse, no fortune, just him. At first, it felt strange. He waited in grocery lines. He cooked his own meals. He walked instead of being chauffeured. But slowly, he began to feel lighter. The girl in the bakery. One morning, Adrian visited a small bakery on Main Street. The scent of fresh bread filled the air, and behind the counter stood a young woman with flour on her cheek and a bright, genuine smile. Her name was Elena. She laughed easily. She worked hard. She spoke kindly to everyone who entered. When Adrian stumbled over his order, she teased him gently. "You don't seem like someone who's had to choose between pastries before," she joked. He grinned. "I'm learning." He began visiting every day, not for the bread, but for the conversation. They talked about books, dreams, and childhood memories. Elena shared how she hoped to expand the bakery one day, but struggled to save enough money. Adrian listened. For the first time, someone wasn't impressed by him. She wasn't trying to impress him either. She just was herself. The test of the heart. Months passed, and Adrian fell deeply in love. One evening, sitting on a park bench under twinkling lights, he decided to test something. Not her love, but her character. "Elena," he said softly, "what if I never become successful? What if I stay exactly as I am?" She looked at him, puzzled. "I don't care about that," she replied. "I care that you're kind, that you listen, that you make me laugh when I'm tired. Money comes and goes, character stays." Her words hit him deeper than any business deal ever had. The truth revealed. The next day, Adrian took her to the city. When they arrived at the towering building with his name engraved at the entrance, Elena stopped walking. "Adrian, what is this?" He took a deep breath. "My real name is Adrian Cole," he admitted. "This company, the apartments, they're mine. I pretended to be poor because I needed to know someone could love me without knowing this." Silence. He feared he had ruined everything. But then Elena smiled gently. "You silly man," she said. "I would have loved you if you owned nothing, and I'll love you owning everything, as long as you remain the man who stood in my bakery, unsure about croissants." Relief flooded him. A different kind of wealth. They married in a small ceremony, not in a grand ballroom, but in the very bakery where they met. Adrian invested in expanding Elena's shop, but only after she agreed as a partner, not a beneficiary. Together, they built not just businesses, but a life filled with laughter, shared dreams, and quiet evenings without masks. Adrian had searched for a woman who loved him without knowing his wealth. In the end, he found something far greater, someone who would have chosen him either way. And that, he realized, was the greatest fortune of all.